my lovelies. How are we today? Today, we have got 4 films recommended right for you. I'm doing like worst to best in my opinion, and I'll grade them, but just because it's like the worst one, it's not. It's really good films, so watch them. So let's just get straight onto it. These are all horror films. Some of them clash with each other. It's quite random that both of these films came out at the same time. We'll go into it. First of all is Ghosts of War. If you've watched, what's it called? I can't think what it's called. You know the superheroes, like he's Nightwing, Robin in. I can't remember. No, Misfits is a British superhero film series. Can't think. But there's 2 of the cast in it, so if you see and you know exactly what I'm on about, you'll recognise them straight away. I was just like, I've seen him in some, and I've seen him, and it turned out to be both the same thing. So, right, this film, right, okay. So, it's set in World War II. And they're in Nazi-occupied France, and they are issued to look after. If you have a look in the right here, a mansion. I think it's the chateau, isn't it? I think. Anyway, it's a big ass house, and like they get there. This isn't spoilers. It's kind of like the first 5 minutes, and they're the relief for another set of people. And other set of soldiers, and they're like, yeah, bye, and run straight out the door. And they're like, what's wrong with this? We live in the high life, you know what I mean? But deceptions, things happen, scaries, as you can see. Basically, it's a haunted mansion with these 4 families that helped shelter Jews and during the war, and I think they moved into America or something like that. I can't remember that part. It's a bit of a minor part. You just learn about the family. And, so that they helped the Jews and stuff. The Nazis found out and did horrific crimes to these. Now, this is getting a 5.5 out of 10. Just because of the ending. Right, it is absolutely bats off the wall crazy. Right, I used to be good mates, especially in college, when my Alan, I don't know if he's watching this, but he just liked, experimental drugs, basically, and it just felt like the ending just felt like I'd taken some of Alan's experimental drugs, basically, and I was like, what? Where did that come from? Anyway, watch it. It's a great film. It's a good film. It's not great, but it's a good film. It's a great watch, basically. Anyway, so 5.5 out of that one, and then straight up next. Oh, guess what? It's in World War II as well. However, this is slightly better. Right. I can sip of my beer. As you can tell, they're in a raft boat. What I like about it is they're all multicultural. So you've got some Americans, you've got 2 British people, you've got a Russian, and you've got an Italian cook. So it's quite an interesting, straight off the bat, an interesting group, and you do actually learn. That's what I do like my films where they set it up, and at this they do that. And basically, the best way to explain this is just imagine if you've watched From Dusk Till Dawn, right, with George Clooney, and then you've watched the Poseidon, which is or Ghost Ship. No, there's no ghosts in it. But basically, From Dusk Till Dawn on a World War II vessel boat, and trust me, it is so much fun. You'll recognise some of the cast as well. They're not well known, but they are kind of again, like with the other ones. I've seen him in something, and I've seen her in something. Anyway, great watch. This is getting a 6 because it's just fun. It doesn't take itself seriously. It knows what it is. The reason why it didn't get higher than a 6, and that is because you see him straight in the picture, basically. I kind of felt the monsters to be a little bit 80s B-movie horror-ish. I kind of get the feeling that was going for that, and I kind of got on board with it a little bit. But, I mean, there he looks kind of scary, but, he gets so much screen presence that it's kind of you know what I'm trying to say? It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because the film's really good. And then, you meet the actual monster, and then, at first, it's Oh, okay. Look, yeah, that's the best way to put it. Is he's like I'm trying to think. Like basically, like imagine Ring One when you seen Samara come out of that TV for the very first time, scare the shit out of you. This is the opposite. Like you're scared a bit. You're quite scared and interested in this film. Like the whole you just what the Nazis were into the occult and different blah blah blah. They're basically the ship was in charge of transporting all like art and like stuff like artifacts and stuff like that, and like, obviously this was one of them. Like the vampires basically. This is not spoilers. I mean, like you can kind of get the premise straight from the thing. This is on Shudder. I love Shudder, but it's a watch. It's a 6 out of 10 film. It doesn't take itself so seriously. I think if it took itself so seriously, it would probably be a 5. Be like, you know what I mean? But because it didn't, there's another part in it which is scary. There's another thing, but I kind of felt the main vampire kind of a little bit like he's got a wife or girlfriend, I presume, and like she looks quite scary, but he just doesn't. It kind of reminds me of like the bloody fucking what's it called, that thing from Power Rangers. Do you remember? He's got like a really, he kind of looks a little bit like a lion. It was that. I can't remember his name. He's in gold armor. You know him straight away. Yeah, it's like if he had a haircut, that's him. It's like I was a bit like, oh okay, but it's still a good film, and the ending's a little bit what's the word? Like predictable, you know. Right, and this, I think this is probably hands down the most I judged this film. I seen it straight away and I was just like, for fuck's sake, another possession film. Really? I was wrong, guys. Like, I can't give too much away, but it follows the woman there that's not the dead. Well, kind of both of them. Hannah Grace is the corpse, and obviously she's possessed. She's meant to be been dead for 3 months, but her body's like healing. That's as much as I'll say about that. But the main actress character is a great actress. Her boyfriend in it, who's like a cop, his acting was a bit off to me, but she was a great actress. She was a strong female character as well, which is really good. I like to see. And it's interesting. It's creepy as hell. The only thing that I will say, and it kind of like the last one I've just spoken to you about, Blood Vessel, is that the enemy, Hannah Grace, she gets too much screen time. As in, like, you know, like where, like, if you're talking Alfred Hitchcock, what you see, you fear, basically. Like, so basically, like, say, like, not off screen, it's like, oh my god, your imagination runs wild. This is kind of the opposite. It's kind of like, holy shit, this is scary as hell. And then, like, it happens quite too often, basically. And, like, you know, when, like, the jump scares and the fear just kind of goes, that kind of what happens here. But apart from that, hands down, I completely judge this film as, oh my god, another crappy possession film. And it's only because of Divine, my partner, that we actually watched this film, and I was boom, glued to the screen all the way through. All the characters were interesting and everything. All of it's believable. I have to say this, right? This is a spoiler part. It's not a spoiler at all. Right, in this morgue, right, I don't know if anybody else who works at a mortuary or a morgue, or like I say, the hospital morgue or something like that, right, can you tell me, like, in this hospital, they decide a really good idea is, like, the scariest place on earth, basically, anything to do with dead bodies is pretty much scary, because even if you don't believe in the supernatural, like myself, you have fear factors, don't you, which basically sometimes your mind just, like, convinces, oh shit, what about if there is a ghost, or about, you know, a corpse gets up and runs away, that kind of stuff. So in his hospital, they thought it was a good idea to, like, have lights and censored lights, basically, so like movement sensors, so you wave it, they come on. Why? I know, like, in the film it works because it's like you can kind of guess, oh, it just comes on its own, or what caused that. It kind of works, but all the way throughout the film, that was just in the back of my head, was just like, why? Why would you have a motion censored light in a morgue? What? Anyway, That's enough of that. This gets a 6.5. We're going up in fives here. Not the last film though. This gets a 6.5. Good film. Watch it. That's basically what I'll say. It's a really good film. You'll like it. It's not on for too long. None of these films are on for very long. They're actually all hit on the good horror movie mark, 1 hour 20 to 1 hour 30, which I like. Anything past that, it has to be a very good, interesting horror film to go past an hour and a half. In my opinion, like for instance, It, which is on for a bit too long, about 3 hours, isn't it? Right. And in last, and this is another film that I judged as well. Do you like my Dragon Ball Z Vegeta pillar? I judged this film straight away, and this straight up, His House on Netflix. Watch this film. If you're gonna watch any of these films, watch this one. The cast is brilliant. The lead actors and actress is brilliant. Again, I know her, and I've completely forgot her now. I should read down, but she's in quite a few things. Basically, they're asylum seekers from Africa. Like the battle-torn Africa, like where like they've had to escape and run, flee. Basically, you kind of get the instinct that it's very quick, very sudden, not like Eastern Europeans and stuff, like Asia, Middle Eastern refugees, where it takes time. This was just like from the flashbacks that you get kind of the idea that their journey, their asylum seeking was like had to be done quick. It wasn't organised or anything. That's the kind of impression. That's just what I think anyway. Right, so it's about a husband and a wife, asylum seekers. They get a house, which to them they've hit gold. They've hit the lottery basically. This is to the normal British people, like that are used to it. Like these houses are so battered. The front door breaks off. The walls are smashed in, but it's theirs. It's their house, and they're happy about. Well, the husband's very over the moon about it, and you more connect with the husband than you do with the wife, and I'll tell you why, but I won't go into spoilers about it. Basically, they have the unfortunate thing is after all this dies down, you find out that they actually had a daughter, and while coming here, coming to England, basically they're like refugee boats where it's just like 50 refugees to like a 10-man boat. You know what I mean? You've seen them. Basically that capsizes and they lose their daughter, and they're kind of like in limbo because they had to like leave. And like basically it was all just like a big mess. So unfortunately they don't know the fate of their daughter. So yeah. And then obviously that haunts both of them. And what's good about this film is it does blend between the realities of the supernatural to the mental health, like PTSD and stuff like that. Because it's all about like detachment and like abandonment as well. It's just really friggin' good film. Trust me, one of the best films I've watched this year. Doesn't beat Terrifier. Still love that film. It's just the highlight of this year for me. But this film is just I judged this film right. I seen the trailer as it come on Netflix, and not 1 second did I think this was a horror. I seen it. I seen the guy from Doctor Who in it. I seen these two, and I just kind of thought that it was like asylum seekers adapting to English life, and I was just like, yeah, I'll watch it whenever, like, because I love watching every single film. I'll just watch it whenever. But then, like, the infamous Tom told me to watch the Mortuary Collection for Halloween. That was a bad choice on his part, but he's made up by saying actually watch His House, and I did. I got round to watching it a couple of days ago, and trust me, this film is banging. The actress is awesome as well, and the best thing about it, she does a great African accent, even though I know for a full-on fact she's a full-on Londoner, because I've seen her in quite a few things. She's really good. It's just brilliant. Like I was saying, like, you kind of side with the husband because he's kind of, well, not side with him, but more, you just get on board with him a bit more, where she's stuck to the past and the abandonment. He's kind of not in denial, but kind of blocking it and trying to adapt to our ways. Like, for instance, this isn't a spoiler, it's just something nice. He goes into an English pub. They're all singing about Peter Crouch. Apparently, this is set in the 90s, I think. and he starts singing about Peter Crouch as well, and they all sing with him, and it's just great. There was no racial tension or anything in this film. The only racial tension in this film was from three kids, and who there was also black, and they say about oh, peace off back to Africa, blah blah blah, and it's just like there's a bit no need for that really, but still, all in all, this is a fantastic film, and you have to watch it. Trust me, this gets like an 8 out of 10 all day. My only gripes with this film, and again, this isn't spoilers, as you can see them in like that picture there. They have flashbacks and about abandonment, like I was saying, about their tribe and that, and they see like tribe decay. They're like zombies basically. Some of them look fantastic, practical effects. Some of them, where they've used the CGI, and it's just so, why did you do that? I would much just rather them just be normal with just blood on them. Like the CGI looks really bad. Like there's one part where there's a skeleton in the water, and I swear to God, he looks exactly like you see in that Disney film about the Day of the Dead. I don't know what it's called. You know, like Mexico and stuff. The skeletons. It looks like that. It's like, it was laughable, and I was like, oh no, but it makes up for it, trust me. Anyway guys, that was 4 movies for you to watch this month, so I hope you enjoyed this. And just the rundown again: so His House, watch this definitely, watch all these films, they're just great. So like The Possession of Hannah Grace, Blood Vessel and Shudder. These are all on Netflix. Ghost, Possession, and His House are all on Netflix. Blood Vessel is on Shudder. So, and then Ghosts of War. Trust me though, with Ghosts of War, the ending is a bit like, I did not actually see that coming in 1,000 years, which makes for interesting. I would like to hear your opinions actually on these films, so put it in the comments below. I would actually really love discussions with you guys. My YouTube seems to be very quiet regarding to comments and stuff. Like, I get loads of views on some of them, but like no comments. So I'd like comments, please. It'll help me out a bunch. You don't even need to subscribe. I'm not doing this for like that kind of stuff. I just like the discussions and everything like that. Anything gaming, Pokemon, movies, horror movies. You are welcome here. You are welcome to the Termoister flock. Anyway, guys, it's been a nice video. Termoister signing off.